Okay, guys, welcome to our live analysis session. So I know it's been a crazy one with yesterday's market. We're going to look at it, but I just want to quickly start with the news first. So with the news, we have the interest rate decision for the ECB or the European Central Bank, and they're expected to raise their interest rates as well. Okay, so bearing that in mind, one of the things I would say is that with USD CHF, we've got to be a bit careful because even though Switzerland doesn't use the euro per se, they have their own currency, it's still in the European Economic Area. So it might affect USD CHF. So if you're right now, the price has been bouncing around in profit, not profit, it's just been going up and down, basically. So my suggestion to you is that, and we also have a press conference, is that if we get near the price action and the price is in a negative, or if USD CHF is not in a good position, everybody should put their stop losses to even, or at least, okay, or something like that. Now, for me, my USD CHF trade is still the same one from yesterday. I've given you guys quite a wide stop loss because the market is highly manipulated, but I'm not going to give up on the long. I know the price is going to go long. It's just a matter of time, really. Okay, so now that you have that information at the back of your mind, let me go over to the charts quickly. So I want to start off with gold because gold has done something that we've been looking at for a very long time. And if I zoom out here, you'll see what I'm looking at. So with the news that came out yesterday, we had a very strong manipulation at the end in the new market day, which I know that the market is manipulated. The amount of liquidity that to produce this kind of move is very much so manipulation. Let me just drag this here. So right over here, guys, on the right over here, we've had a new all-time high for gold now. And a lot of people, I don't think they're talking about it, but there's a new highest historical price for gold, which is now 2,079, I believe. Let me just get the high properly. So if I go over here to the high point, it's 2,080. So the new all-time high for gold is $2,080. So I want to put this here, new or ATH. But now this new all-time high, another reason why it's important is because it's actually a massive stop hunt, okay? And I want you guys to see this. One of the ways to know this, and we'll be able to figure this out by the end of this week, is that this weekly demand zone, supply zone over here is still intact until we see a weekly close. If the weekly candle that we have right here closes within this area, this is just going to be a massive stop hunt. It is already, but we definitely are going to go short now. Don't forget, we have this big liquidity gap that needs to be filled out. So if I draw this here, I'm going to say this is a type 1. Now, the reason why it's a type 1 stop hunt is because it's taken the high of 2022. And it's also a type 2 stop hunt because it's taken the high of 2020. So this is probably one of the biggest and strongest stop hunts the market has ever done. Type 1 and type 2 monthly stop hunt. It was a yearly stop hunt, excuse me. North. So with that in mind, with gold, guys, I am going to post these markings out too. I just want you guys to see what exactly has happened. So with the Federal Reserve, I always listen to the actual news as to what they're discussing. And one of the things they were saying is that they're not going to pause interest rate hikes, which is obviously a sign that inflation is going to continue. So, but at the same time, the Federal Reserve are doing whatever they can to reduce their holdings in the market. I'm going to keep it in simplistic terms. They have something called OMO, which is open market operations, which is, in essence, the Federal Reserve hold their own securities. And when they get rid of like stuff like mortgage-backed securities and stuff, it causes there to be supply liquidity in the market. Now, I won't be surprised on the Federal Reserve's balance sheet that they're selling off gold, even though the price has spiked along. So bearing all of these things in mind together, we know that the market is highly manipulated. I got stopped out quite on a few trades. I can always be honest and say that. But I think that the market is still highly manipulated, and this was just an entry to go short. Okay, so we should be looking for sell trades soon. And I know it's crazy, but if you guys remember, I've got Matt on with me today, junior coach Matt. He gave us this specific area here, which is very important. We have a liquidity pool here that the price is not filled out, that the lows are literally equal, and we have a liquidity gap here. If I draw a line, I'll just put this over here like so. If I draw a line over here just to represent this gap, we have a gap at 18, I would say 1845, something like that. Around that area here, there's a liquidity gap that hasn't been filled. So gold is about to give us a very strong short. And whilst everybody's looking to sell gold, buy gold, we should be looking to sell. Because one of the things you have to understand is that currency runs on trust. Economic financial systems run on trusts. And now we have an alternative, for example, Bitcoin. The main alternative for many thousands of years was gold. Gold used to be the standard, but now it's an alternative. Whenever one financial system is clearly failing, like fiat currency is with inflation, a lot of investors with the money that really moves the market tend to want to move their money from fiat into something like gold or silver. Okay, now that's not good for the financial systems, especially of the West, because a lack of trust in their economy means that a crash will come, a financial crisis will happen very quickly. Okay, so to discourage people from holding on to gold, and now we have a new asset which is even, I wouldn't say better than gold, but just a digital gold version, which is Bitcoin. One of the biggest things that the Federal Reserve will definitely do, and other governments around the world, is crash the price into a point where it discourages holders from holding onto gold or Bitcoin or holding onto crypto, and allow them to hold on to fiat assets instead. Okay, because when lots of people are using the currency, then the demand will be high. If the demand drops too low, then it could affect stuff like interest rates, also US Treasury bonds, auction markets and stuff like that. This is not a teaching session, so I won't waste my time to go through all of that and waste your time too. I want to make sure I get straight to where you can get your trades and make some profit. But I hope that does help you to understand that there is a big crash coming along, simply because now listen to what Jerome Powell said yesterday, and he said that the QT program is still in play and is still continuing on. Now, quantitative tapering, or QT, is really just reduction of supply of dollars, which means the demand for the dollar will skyrocket and become very strong. That being said, if that happens, then anything that's a dollar-denominated asset will go short. So if the dollar gains strength, XAUUSD will go short. So I'm not surprised that the price has taken this new all-time high. We have a very strong reversal. We should be looking for sell trade entries, guys, to be realistic. That's what we should be looking for. Even if you have to risk a little bit more, I would say instead of risking 0.5%, maybe 0.7 to 1% for gold, so that you can make sure you can get an entry, because this is a historical short that's about to happen. And when it does happen, it's going to shock everyone, I know. All right. Now, I expect gold to probably even get down to this equal low set over here. Let me put this over here, just because this is the final kind of like lifeline that the dollar has before it really starts to die. It needs to gain relevance again. It needs to get stronger. With what's happened with oil as well, where now Saudi Arabia has made an agreement with China to use the Chinese yen to buy oil and to bypass the dollar, which is one of the dollar's major sources of demand, because every country around the world, just before that deal was struck, has to use dollars to be able to buy oil. And that's why the dollar is sometimes called the petrodollar. So right now, the Federal Reserve, the US government is in their interest to make sure that they discourage people from other asset classes and keep them in fiat. And to do that, they need to keep the price of gold suppressed. Okay, that's why it's so manipulated, and the price of other assets too, like Bitcoin short. That's why I do think there's going to be one more short on crypto, a heavy one, for the same reason. Because if you buy gold, guys, especially if you buy gold bars, because the gold bars have a bullion tax of 40%, the price has to increase by 40% just for you to break even. So what's the easiest thing for them to do? Drop the price of gold massively so that you're down in a very big loss. So either you're going to start to cut some of your losses and move back into another currency or into a government or fiat-based asset, or you're just going to have to stick it out for a few years to wait until, the market comes back to itself. So this is what I'm trying to say to you, that the game is on right now. So we should be looking for a short on gold. Now that I've given you this background here, let me do this here. So if I go over to gold here, let me get gold. Okay, I think my gold is all the way up here because I've been looking at, yeah, here we go. So if we take gold now, this massive wick here, there was no way you were going to be able to catch this in 1 minute. This is manipulation that is absolute finest. The price may even come back to that high one more time, but this is very unfair. You know, within 1 minute, within 2 minutes, the price did 354 pips. It's not going to be very easy for you to get in. And I've seen this pattern once before. The last time I saw this pattern is when in Iran, when a missile was released during Trump's administration to kill the lead general, the lead general of the Iranian Revolution Army. And as a result, gold done this exact movement and crashed down straight afterwards. And this was January 2020, I believe, or January 2019, one of those years. So I've seen this pattern with gold before, 4 years ago. So I'm very well aware of what the price is doing. So now that we have this anyway, we should be prepared for a short. Now, there's a few ways to go around this. One of the easiest ways I would say is that in a situation like this, we may have to just wait for the next demand zone to break. Now, this demand zone here on the 30-minute is the last demand zone of yesterday. And you can see that price is respecting it quite well. So if the price was to break beneath here and return, we could use this for a short and then wait for the price to maybe take this swing low. Now, this is the low of yesterday. I think the best pattern here that could work, and I still have my sell stop here. I'll delete it for now because it's in a bad place. What I would say is that with gold, if the price breaks structure, we need it to get just below 2,000 here, but we need a body close. So to get a body close, we're going to need some sort of supply flip zone, and there's some over here that we can use. So if with the body of the candle closes inside of this area here, we'll need some sort of stop on the next day that could take the price back up one more time, maybe around to, let's say, here. This is all right. I don't think the price is going to go back in the wick, so I'll be surprised if it does. It'll probably end up somewhere here where the first kind of body is, and then that will be a short. So this is kind of like my proposed entry for gold to go for a short. All right, it's pretty long-winded, but we do have NFP news tomorrow, so the NFPs can drive the price short, and then we can have some sort of other news that drives the price long. Do you get what I mean? And then we can go from there. So this is really the reality when it comes to gold, what I'm looking for. All right, guys, and this is what we should be preparing for. Now, with gold, because it's highly volatile, be careful, but I like to see this kind of manipulation. You have to understand the amount of liquidity it takes to cause the price to shoot up like this in the first 1 hour. This is manipulation. This is not normal price action at all, okay? This is not normal at all. I've even seen some traders, even the most famous one, ICT, who said that he doesn't want to trade gold right now. It's too highly manipulated. And I do understand, because a lot of governmental interests are involved in gold, and they're really playing around with the price. That's all I can say. All right, so that's with gold anyway. Now, obviously, I've got a strategy tester on for the robot, guys. So I'm going to delete some of these because there's just too many going on at the same time. Just get this out of the way. I was strategy testing all night for the robot and forgot to delete the charts when I'm done. So I'll clear this all up. All right. Now, USD CHF, you guys know that I'm in the long here, and I'm going to put lots of entries on. I did get stopped out of this account really badly. I didn't like that. But again, with USD CHF, all of you should be in this, guys. This is a once in a lifetime opportunity. Look at what the price is, guys. The price, if you can understand what the analysis I gave you all, the price here has given us a yearly stop on, okay, in 2021. And I remember when this happened. For those of you students who were here, we were still in lockdown during this time. The price has given us the market structure break up here. And now we've had an extended RTO. But look at this, guys. The price is right in the RTO area. Even now, I don't get why none of you, well, I don't know. I know some of you are in, but I don't get why none of you, all of you are not in this trade. Because if you were all in, I should be seeing some responses. Remember, guys, we have these two highs here. If I go to the D1, is a double top. There's no stop on here. These are equal highs. So when this trade starts to fly, guys, it's going to fly through the roof. So all of you should be in. All of you. I haven't even put a stop loss on this, but everybody should be in this trade, because when it takes off, it's going to take off when you least expect it. Everyone should be in this trade right now, guys. Every one of you. All right. I'm hoping that I see you guys in this trade. All right. Please be in this trade, because this is an absolute trade. I even gave it to, I really wanted everyone to win. So I've given it to you students. I've given it to the LinkedIn group. I've given it to every single group of people that trade, every single one of you. So all of you should be in. All right. Now, I know the price has kind of taken a dive, even though it's one of the good things though that I do like about it is that it's broken above this H4 area here. So for me to get my second entry, which is what I'm going to do, I'll just wait for price to break above this H4 area here. When it does do that, I'll go for a long, all right, and just let the price ride, okay? And that's really it. But I'm in this trade on all my accounts, including my trader funded accounts, and we're going to go for a long. I'm not, this one, guys, if the price decides to break beneath the 2021 low, then I'll hang in the towel for now. But because this is like the deepest RTO I've ever seen pull back, this is a great opportunity that is historical. And I'm glad to say that I'm in it. Whether it goes right or it goes wrong, which I do believe it will go right, I'm going to always say that I got the lowest entry on USD CHF. That's all I want to talk about. All right. So, you know, bearing that in mind, please make sure you get yourselves in, guys. All right. Make sure you get yourselves in. All right. Even with 0.01, which is not going to be my final entry, even just getting up to this high here is £100. All right. Now my aim is to put 0.10, which will give me like 1K, but I'm gonna ride this wave until it's done. That's all I know. All right. So anyway, please be in this trade, guys. That's all I can say. Now, pound USD has also been a great one. Pound USD has taken the high of the previous month now. And I did give a shout for a short, and the price is kind of hanging around here. And you can see there's a lot of stop hunt activity, but it's still basically done an RTO. For this one, I do believe the price is going short the same way. It's actually just RTO'd right now. So if you want to get a sell on, stop loss above the high. All right, I still believe the price is going to go short. Let me just put this here. Yeah, I still do believe the price is going to go short. If I look at the lows here, for those of you who are interested, who are pound USD traders, we have a few important lows. Let me just take this here. So this low, these two lows, there's no stop on. There's no stop on at this low, and there's none at this low. The last one was all the way back in March, basically February, March. This stop on here for the long, which lets me know that there's lots of lows for the market to go for. And we've just had the stop hunt of the previous week's high. Even though it doesn't look like the most nicest trade, it's still a pretty good one. Okay. Still a pretty good trade. All right. Now we've got the news for the euro in a moment. So I'm sure the price is going to get volatile, but I expect the price to go for a short. That's the expectation here. All right. I'm just going to keep this here. We've had MSB and RTO as well, because if I go over here, this is the last swing low here. The price has broken structure even on the M5 right now. So this is a good enough trade to go for a short for me, basically on. I'll put something on here now. Let's put a little something on there and keep my stop loss above the high. See what happens with that. All right. And then after, when the price breaks this demand zone here that it started yesterday with, then I'll just take the heavier trade that I want to take. All right. But yeah, guys, I mean, for me, I'll say that the European news will probably help us to go for a long and, I mean, go for the short that we're looking for. If I go to Euro USD, now Euro USD is slightly different, but in the same sense that I did give you guys the long for this trade, the short for it trade, and I haven't changed my mind on it. It's just that because this is Euro-centric news, I wonder if the price may take the high of the previous month first, which is a few pips away. It's only like about 20 pips away, and then go for a short maybe. We'll have to see, but the price is still in this area that we've been waiting for, and then I know we'll be going for a short. So watch out for what happens over here, guys, at the high. If the price decides to take this high before it goes, then why not? If not, then we continue for a short the normal way. All right, but I want to see what's going to happen with this news going out in a moment. Okay. So yeah, this is of interest to me. Should be of interest to you. What I'm going to do, I'm going to stay awake and watch the news and see what's going on. Not that I'm sleeping, but you guys get what I mean. My focus is not really on other pairs right now. I gave you guys USD JPY short and I didn't take it myself. I think I hesitated a little bit too much because I was expecting a better RTO, but the price just came back and it's done 300 pips so far. So now that it's got closer to the target, I think it'll be better not to. I'll leave this pendant and take this pending order off because the price is going to go long again now. It's too late. But yeah, USD JPY is a good one. If any of you took it secretly and you didn't say like some of you do, then, you know, give me a shout. Let me know what happened there. All right. And yeah, it will be great to hear what happens there. Put this over here. And make sure that I've got the right zone that I'm in. Yeah. Well, let's see what happens with pound USD. It's not really a big risk. It's like £1, I think, or something. 92p is minus. Is all right. It's fine. All right. So let's see what happens anyway with the news. I'm not going to look at any other pairs, guys. Unfortunately, I'm not going to do any of the crosses because that's not our focus right now. If you want to do crosses or you have a suggestion, you can send it in the group. I'll analyze it. But right now, the opportunity that we're in with the Federal Reserve is only major pairs. That's the only thing we want to look at, okay? So the final thing I'm going to do before I leave, because it is important for us to take a look at this, is here. So the dollar index here, let me just go over here. So the dollar index, remember guys, the RTO that we're looking at. Now, my markings are probably not the nicest right now because the market has moved quite a bit. So I need to find some sort of way to show this to you. Let me see if I can do, what charts do I have? All right, I'm going to use this chart here instead. Let me just do it this way. All right, so remember guys, from the 30-minute zone, probably is going to have to be something like this I have to do. So I'm going to take this off, draw the 30-minute zone over here like this. So this is the 30-minute zone that we're looking for our RTO. And you can see, guys, that the price spiked into this area perfectly, and we've had a long ever since then. Now, of course, the dollar index is really fighting hard to really get on our nerves. So it's come all the way back down again. Now, there's two options here, which looking at this, I might actually close pound USD because it means that we're probably going to have a double spike. The price is getting very near to this low over here. Since it's getting so low to this low over here, maybe the dollar index might actually do this one more time, which is another stop hunt here. And then after we'll go for a long. So for that reason, and let me just see something else. Now, the other side of the story is that it might even decide to descend lower because right now the manipulation is so high that they really will do anything to kind of get you out of a trade. Now, I'm trying to be quick. In the next minute, I'll be out so that I can spend the time to make sure that I alert everyone about the European news. All right, so there's two options here. If they want to be cheeky, they might actually just take this low here, which is the low of last month, or they may take the low of last week. Now, my thing is that because they've done a stop hunt of the previous week's high or 2 weeks of highs, taking a weekly low probably wouldn't be good enough to cause a reversal. They're probably going to come for the monthly low. That makes more sense for that to happen. So if that is going to be the case, then that means that everything will spike down one more time. So that means, apart from USD CHF, which should be all right because it's in a kind of a different position, then we should be going for that, expecting that to possibly happen. Okay, and I'm saying possibly because it doesn't have to happen. The price can also, if I go to the H1, it's still a demand zone here. The price can generally just go long. It's done a stop hunt in today's price action. All right, and it's also broken market structure here. So here's the market structure break, and is basically near to an RTO. So you can also go long from here. It doesn't have to go for the monthly low again, but just be prepared for that. That's kind of like a second scenario. So scenario number one is the price could be very nice to us and just go long, like the good dollar index it is, and just go long from here. Or I would say the price will probably go way past the weekly zone and just go for the monthly one, simply because this is a type 1 and type 2. So it's taking 2 weekly highs on the way down, even though there was no MSB and RTO for obvious reasons, because this is a pullback, not a real reversal to say that the price is going to continue going short. But ideally, with this price action movement here, I guess their aim was just to bring the price back down one more time for some sort of reason. So weekly low, if it does reverse from the weekly low, that would be a shock. But I still think the price will probably get to the monthly low, or is going long now. That's the only two options in my mind. Okay, so I wanted to keep it short and sweet. We've got 4 minutes till the news, and I want to give you guys enough time to fix your orders if you have to come out or go to break even or whatever you have to do. Okay, so I'll catch all of you guys later. Thanks for being on, guys. It's good to see you lot, and I'll catch you guys later on. Everybody take care.